Let's jump right into this explainer because today we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating. It's this wild, almost paradoxical concept. How a truly microscopic investment, a gesture so tiny you'd probably forget it happened 5 minutes later, can yield massive, world-changing leadership dividends. Seriously, if you've ever sat around wondering how real leaders are actually forged, well, prepare to be surprised. It doesn't always start in some fancy boardroom or an Ivy League university. Sometimes it starts with something incredibly simple, a tiny little gesture that shifts someone's entire mindset from just surviving to actual empowerment.
$20. Yep, a single $20 bill. That is the stark reality and the microscopic size of the initial physical gesture we are talking about today. Now think about it. In today's world, $20 barely covers a quick lunch, right? Maybe a couple of cups of coffee if you're lucky. It is a tiny, tiny amount of capital. And yet, as our source material reveals, this precise amount served as the absolute bedrock for a profound transformation. I really want you to keep this tiny figure in the back of your mind as we unpack what happens next.
So, to really grasp how that $20 functioned, we need to meet the two main characters in this story. First up, we have a struggling student. This is someone facing deep hardship, practically drowning in the stress of trying to just make ends meet. And on the other side, an anonymous stranger. It's such a powerful contrast, isn't it? You've got this moment of acute vulnerability colliding head-on with a moment of totally unexpected generosity.
Section 1. The $20 Catalyst.
Okay, let's dive into this and look at the exact origin of this incredible leadership story. The source text gives us this incredibly powerful quote. Read it with me. A single $20 bill came with a note, and it changed his future. I want to pause for a second, just to let the weight of that sink in. A single bill, a piece of paper with a little note attached. That is literally all it took to alter the entire trajectory of a human life. We're not talking about some grand sweeping intervention here. It was just a simple, highly targeted catalyst. What we're really getting at here is a concept called the currency of kindness. Look, when you or I make a normal economic transaction, we expect a good, a service, or a solid financial return on our investment, right? But the currency of kindness functions entirely differently. That $20 handed to the student wasn't just cold, hard cash. It was a completely different asset class. It was an investment designed to pay out strictly in future generosity. There's no compound interest rate here, only human impact.
Section 2. The Anonymous Directive.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the anonymity. The giver remained completely 100% anonymous. And think about why that matters for creating a leader. By hiding their identity, the giver basically guaranteed this wasn't going to be some burdensome loan. It didn't saddle the student with a guilt trip or give them a specific person to track down and pay back. It was a pure gift. That anonymity, it created a blank canvas of empowerment rather than a heavy ledger of debt. But there actually was a bit of direction provided on that blank canvas. The note attached to the $20 simply read, "One day, help someone else." Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, "Pay me back when you get a fancy job." It specifically asks for future action. It's a directive for future leadership. It's asking this deeply struggling student to eventually, one day, step into the shoes of the benefactor.
Section 3. Years of transformation.
Let's move to the timeline and see how this actually builds over time. We start at year 0, the struggle. Then comes that pivotal day 1, receiving the $20 gift. But notice the massive gap before the next phase. Years later, the text tells us, he achieved success. Because let's be real, the $20 didn't just magically fix his life overnight. But it did provide the hope that fueled him through the grueling years of hard work required to actually achieve that success. Which ultimately leads us to the final point, decades later, the creation of a scholarship fund.
Section 4. Creating a leader.
And this brilliantly illustrates the complete transformation. Think about the starting point, a struggling student taking a $20 bill, and then look at the ultimate outcome, a successful leader funding entire scholarships. The person who desperately needed help fundamentally transformed into the person providing it, and on a massive scale. That small gesture literally authored a leader. How cool is that?
So the really crucial point is how he actually executed this leadership. Our source details 3 specific things. First, he put in the hard work to become successful over the years. No shortcuts. Second, he started a scholarship fund, meaning he didn't just walk around handing out $20 bills, he scaled the operation up. And third, he actively supported new students in need.
He specifically went looking for people who are in the exact same vulnerable position he used to be in, and he used his new platform to orchestrate a massive gesture of leadership for them.
Section 5. The cycle continues.
Because this is a repeatable process. Step 1. Receive kindness. Step 2. Achieve success. Step 3. Help someone else. The text explicitly points out that by starting the scholarship fund, he was continuing the cycle of kindness. So that single $20 bill wasn't just spent, it was invested into a perpetual motion machine of human goodwill. It created a leader who is now creating the exact environment needed to support the next generation of leaders. It's like a chain reaction.
Which leaves us with a pretty vital question to chew on. If a single $20 bill and a quick note can incubate a leader who eventually funds entire scholarships, who will your small gesture impact today? You don't need to be a millionaire to be a catalyst. You literally just need to be willing to make a microscopic investment in the currency of kindness. Think about that for a minute. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I challenge you to go out and make that small gesture today.